What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, coming to you with another great installment of the PGF pre-show. I hope that you guys are having a great day. It has been an incredible week. Guys, it really comes down to today. If you want to make it to the grand finale tomorrow and you're an athlete, you got to score today. And there's a lot more that we have to talk about. Fortunately, we have two of the best in the biz. We're going to start with our first, which is Jake Watson. Jake, how are you doing, sir?
Man, Raph, I'm glad that we've graduated to the best in the biz and not
Don't
the
make me take
brothers
it away.
of the best in the biz.
Don't make me take it away. I thought about it.
I'm not gonna let you take it away because here's the thing. Day 4 is an amazing day of action ahead. Some people's backs are against the wall. The number 1 seed, PJ Barge, can he make it into the top 8? We're gonna find out today. X Marshall is in the lead, and I'm so excited for the top 8 and what is gonna be set up here on day 4. Can't overstate how excited I am.
All right, let's go to the better of the analysts, one Tim Freeman.
Thank you very much for that, Raph. I appreciate it. Listen, day 4 is dunk day. You better bust out those Reebok pumps, get to pumping, break off the breakaway pants, snap them down, chalk up, hit the LeBron magic clap. If you're on the cusp, you need a dunk today. You better Vince Carter that program and get 2 if you really want to make it. I'm stoked. I'm looking for stunts out there on the mat today. It's going to be a fantastic day, you guys.
I'm glad that's what you went with because on my notes it was pumps and a dunk day. So we all have our different ways that we're going with it. We have a board. We need to get to it. Gents, we're going to start off first with some score recaps. And Tim, as per usual, you'll be talking a little bit about where the individual standings are currently.
Thanks. You know, not a lot of movement on the board. The main player that actually moved up is Elijah Carlton. He moved up 4 slots on the board. Many of the other players moved up 1 or 2. Several kind of stayed put. The board is mostly like it was yesterday in terms of comparison of where these athletes are. It hasn't changed a whole lot. It seems like the guys that are getting subs are the same guys that are getting subs on day 1, day 2, and day 3. So someone's going to have to break out if they're going to move up on the leaderboard. Guys on the cusp, Ben Eddy, Nathan Haddad, Kevin Buring, and 2 big stars are going to need to get into the leaderboard here, and that's Hanato Canuto and PJ Barge. So let's see what they pull off today.
All right, and I guess I'm going to give you guys the lead, but this is really important to note. We did talk to you a little bit about who was ahead yesterday, and nothing has changed for X Marshall. They've just had a permanent place in the number 1 spot. But here's what I want to point out. Yes, first form, closely behind. I just want to point this out. Egghead and I were talking about this today, and we were comparing notes. And I literally told him, I go, well, you know, statistically, a person could get 21 points plus the team points. And he goes, right. And I go, so a lot of people are saying, you know, it's too early to say somebody's completely out of things. And he just did this look. No. Like, I think I broke Egghead by telling people a statistic possibility was there. And that anybody who is saying they're statistically out, not quite. But I think by the end of block 2, we're kind of going to know where we're heading today. So here with an update on our fantasy teams is one Jake Watson. Jake, where are we standing with our fantasy team, sir?
Well, let's take a look, Raph. If you're looking at Team Freeman sitting to my left, Elijah Carlton leads that one. As he mentioned, Elijah Carlton now in the second place. They got 48 points for Team Freeman. And if we look at the next set of scores, I believe the next one is myself, and tough to say I am in last place with 40 points. You know, I truly do believe in my team. It is day 4, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can win that BMAC belt. But moving on, Team Egghead, you'll hear him on commentary. TG DeSantis refers to him as the man they call Egghead. 45 points for him. So that does continually put me in last place, and I am Trust me, I know. And Raph is probably going to do the same thing that he always does. Here he goes. Team Esparza sitting pretty. I don't know why you don't do this to Tim. 55 points. And all I can say is I can't wait for the Airbnb for him to continually make fun of me as he always does. Please sit down.
Why does this make you so uncomfortable?
Because I don't like it.
It doesn't like you lording over him.
Go and finish. We got a pre-show to do. All right, well, Octavio, move on to the next one. All right.
I'm just going to call the shots from back here. All right, now we're going to go on over to our submission of the night. And I believe, Jake, you start us off there, sir.
Yes, I am going to start you off. So my submission of the night actually ended up being recorded as the official G-Shock submission of the night, and that is Elijah Carlton with this last-minute, last-ditch effort with this beautiful triangle, so smooth that you could actually hear his left leg smack against the neck of Cam Hurd, locks it in as tight as can be. That was an absolute barn burner of a match. Cam Hurd looked so impressive throughout, and Elijah Carlton was struggling to get any submission wrapped up, but there at the end you see ex-Marshall absolutely elated with their athlete. It took a lot out of the PGF Season 5 champ, but he is making his name known, and he is looking poised to make a difference tomorrow if he makes it to the playoffs.
It was good. It was earlier in the day, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great that we started the action like that. A lot of the guys were coming for submissions. And Tim, you also picked somebody that I thought was a very solid submission. Walk us through that, please.
Yeah, so we got Davis Asari jumping on the leg lock here against Daniel Sattler. Sattler was trying to defend. He defended one, but the second was too tight, and you could see the look on his face. It wasn't going to happen. Also have another leg lock here from Jet Thompson against David Evers. And it looked like Evers might have had a chance to turn out. And when he turned back to his left, he just kind of didn't hit it quite right. And Jet Thompson walks away with a big pop. It was audible. You could hear it. Nice work from both gentlemen last night on the mats.
It was very, very impressive. I had one that I picked because I was almost confused that it did happen. Here you got Canuto and Jamie Carnal. And here you get a reverse Uno. Oh, and then you see the grimace and you think, did Canuto hurt himself? No, he just felt that bad. An embrace tug between the two. But definitely, I turned my back on it for a half second, and just based off the look on his face, I almost thought, did Carnal catch Canuto? And then I see Canuto still smiling, and I go, oh, I have to see that again. And I watched it again and again. So big props to all of those individuals who got their submissions of the night. However, I do have to say this. I feel like you guys are cheating. Because you put 2 submissions on your packages.
Yeah.
I put one.
Well, I mean,
no, I put one.
I put
the
2.
day before you put 2.
I put
That's
2 the day
true.
before because I couldn't decide. There's so much action happening here
But
at
it
the
says
PGF World that
submission.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Single
I thought it said
of
submission.
the
there's an
night.
abbreviation on that scoreboard. It
Yeah.
could have been submissions.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't
that's
sure.
what says submission. It's very
Yeah,
clearly
I didn't catch
defined.
that. I'm sorry,
It could have
boss.
been your mistake.
No, I don't make mistakes.
That's not. But anyway,
Just
Silly
pointing that
Jake.
out. All right, let's go to our next one, which is updates. So we put this here, and I'm hoping that you guys have been able to catch up on some information. I believe I do have some, so I'll start off with this, which is I do believe that we will not be seeing Davis Sattler here today. So that is something I went over to him and I just asked, hey, no fighting. And I meant it in the group chat because they have been going wild.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was just kind of like, no, not today. And I go, wait, oh, no. No, let's clear this up, buddy. No fighting in general, please. But no fighting today. Is like, no. And I go, well, we hope a speedy recovery into this. So we're not quite sure what's happening there. We'll give you more information as that becomes apparent. But let's go on over to one Jake Watson. Do you have any information that is new for us that maybe audiences may not know yet?
well, I was just going to update you guys on the standings here for the PGF World regular season. Like we said, it all comes down to today. Leading the pack is Davis Asari, but closely nipping at his heels, just 3 points behind Elijah Carlton. A tie for third place between Jet Thompson, the young up-and-comer 17-year-old phenom, and Daniel Sattler, who is not competing today, as Raph just exposed. So kind of tough to say. Maybe other competitors have a great day, and man, how crazy would it be if he even got put at the end of the top 8. But Andy Varela and David Evers, both close behind as well. And then finally, Ben Eddy and Nathan Haddad, who was, I believe, the 18th or 19th pick in the draft, is still in the top 8. And those are the updates on the standings.
Thank you very much. Let's go over for more updates to one Tim Freeman.
So a couple things happening. You mentioned Daniel Sattler is going to be out for the day. A few other guys are going to be out completely here. John Combs is out. Mike John is out. I chatted with David Evers just a few minutes ago. He is not going to be competing today. It looks like we have Alvaro Pinedo taking his place in the first block with John Chandler following up in the next two. It's interesting that they're kind of alternating two alternates to fill his role. It's curious what kind of impact that will have on Evers' score. He is near the top of the leaderboard, but he's not going to have a chance to put points up. Obviously, he's confident that he'll be able to maintain his position at the top, but who knows? Like I said, guys are coming out to really bring the heat. This is your last chance. I know I said it yesterday, but today I mean it. You got to do it today. If you don't do it today, that's it. There will be no tomorrow for you. So, yeah, those are my updates, Rap.
I'm so glad. It's literally going to be tomorrow. You got to do it today. We're going to finish on Saturday. It's going to be all said and done. You got to do it today. Today's the day. My man's going to be 2 months down being like, hey, if you want to make season 7, that starts today.
Gotta get busy.
I will tell you this, though. It is slightly tense here, and that is part of the reason why we brought up this next topic, which is the idea of tension. So, define this as you will, but for us here, there's a lot of tension in different arenas, and I'd like both you, Tim, and you, Jake, to kind of give us an overview as to the kind of tension that is happening all around us. And I'll start over with you, Tim.
So, you're absolutely right. There's tension in the back. There's tension on the production team. There's tension in the crowd. It's not all bad tension. We're all trying to bring you the best possible product that we possibly can. This is really a room full of all-stars right now, and nobody wants to be the weak link. So everybody's pushing and pressing. We talked about a leaderboard for the athletes, but what about a leaderboard for the promotions? PGF World has jumped off 100% to the top, and that doesn't come off with work. That doesn't happen without tension, without people kind of trying to figure out how to be their best. There's lots of top players here. So yeah, it's definitely thick with tension, but it's also thick with love and anticipation and happiness, and we can't wait. We're not all fighting, and sometimes we only hurt the ones we love.
Oh, gosh.
That went about
I was
4
looking
different
at you,
ways.
Jake Watson, when I said that. I just want you to know that, buddy.
That went about 4 different ways that I thought it was going to go. I thought at some point you were going to start quoting the Muppet Christmas Carol. It's just like, is there a song going to break out right now? Jake, I'd like to ask you, what tension have you observed, if any?
Well, the tension that I can perceive, if we're looking once again at the standings, has got to come from Renato Canuto, PJ Barch, and Max Hansen. They're right outside the top 8. And here's the thing. Those guys, I believe, are within the top 6 seeds of the tournament, and they might get knocked out unless they have a good day today. Their backs are against the wall. And so if you're an athlete and you're trying to break into that top 10, I think even Cam Hurd, 9 points, he could even make the top 8 with a really good day today. So there's some tension with those athletes and with the coaches to make sure that they're able to get their athletes in that top 8. It is a free-for-all out there if you are outside the top 8.
It's been interesting. I mean, the general overall consensus here is that you have athletes getting their kind of ultimate fighter experience. So a lot of them are in weird states. Some of them are loose. Like if you're David Asari, he's definitely relaxed, as you saw him here on our post show getting interviewed. But a lot of those guys in the middle have this laser focus. And we were told today that if they don't do their media obligations or go to do an interview, they will be fined. And that is news to me because I want to tell you, there's less tension in me now.
Yeah.
Now that I know that, this dude's blood pressure, woo! Because I want to tell you this. I love the fact that they're taking that extra step. I have worked with a lot of organizations that have said, don't worry, our athletes know they have to fulfill their media obligations. And then they run off because they don't know any better. And if they do know better, they're trying to play a storyline that they don't know how to play out. So here, it's good to see that we are starting to teach our athletes how to be professionals, the first word in the PGF. So I'm very happy to see that. Gents, let's go to our next one, which is tactics. So this is interesting for this particular reason. There are so many strategies at play here. And a lot of times when you see somebody maybe not getting submitted, that might be their actual purpose. They're playing defense, and it made me start to wonder, what are the tactics that maybe some of the coaches, maybe some of the players, or maybe even some of the team owners are starting to utilize here? And we're going to start with you, Jake. Preview that for us, if you would.
Well, if I'm thinking about the athletes who are already doing very well in this regular season, you're on day 4. A tactic from somebody who's in a comfortable spot, let's say like Davis Asare, is going to be to do, I would say, more safe but not stalling. Because if you get called for stalling, of course, you can lose the match, and that could be detrimental for your team. But staying safe, going for guard passes and submissions that don't leave your feet open, not opting for footlock shootouts, but instead opting for more of the positions and techniques are going to yield a safer outcome for you so that you don't get submitted and you don't get too much pain on your body. This is a grueling event. It is a week-long season. Now, if you are on the bottom end and you're trying to get into that top 8, my advice, go absolutely balls to the wall. You need to let it all hang out. You have nothing else to lose. And if you don't empty the gas tank today, you're not going to get in the top 8 anyway. So really push the pace. There's some people who are hiding how tired they are. You have to, as an athlete, play that mind game. And you have to assume that everybody's beat up and go out there and make it happen.
Very nice. Tim?
So a few of the tactics that, we've seen are some of these guys are not trying to beat the top players. They're going in against the top players, and they're trying to survive, and then they're trying to beat the guys they feel like they can beat. So they're saving energy, trying not to stall, the art of stalling without stalling, which is a difficult one. But that's one of the tactics we've seen. The other tactic we've seen is, I don't know if it's a tactic, but some guys, they get injured. And so you got to bring in an alternate. And then sometimes people need a spa day. So you might have to bring in an alternate. We'll leave it at that. But as we move forward, look, like Jake said, it's a marathon. It's not just one day. You can't just show up on Monday. This isn't your hot dog on a stick job making hand-stomped lemonade. This is the kind of job where you got to show up every single day. It's not just one match. It's not just 2 matches. It's the sustained entire effort of the week. We said Wednesday was going to break people, and we saw it happen. 4 people dropped yesterday, not totally out. Some guys had to take a break for injury. Some guys took a break today for injury. So, yeah, those are the tactics that we're starting to see. It's interesting how it's playing out. I think PGF has been around long enough that we're starting to see guys try to game the system just a little bit, and Commissioner BMAC and all his folks on the crew are doing a nice job of trying to mitigate that. That's where we're at today, Raph.
What a hot take. Good for you, sir.
Thank
Very
you.
proud of you. Love that one. Okay, let's go to our next one right now. So this one is Grappler's quotation marks. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to go check out a documentary by the crew over here as directed by Keelan, lawyer, our EP, who is quite good as a human being and even better. Oh, God. No, don't. That's him. That's him.
Give us some cameras.
You shout out to this man.
Antonio was right on it, too.
Wow.
I just say,
Well
immediately
done here.
shifted the camera.
Hold on. I don't want to say anything nice, though, because I was trying to say it when you didn't know. Ugh.
Rob's like,
Gross.
get out of my
Get out
shot.
of my Keelan lawyer actually directed a great documentary. It is called Grapplers No Gi, No Money. But what you may not know is they're already filming while this is going on. On top of everything, we have guys creating content that's going to go into the next documentary. So it made me wonder, what are the parts of the new documentary that you are most excited to see? Tim, let's start with you, sir.
I want to see what's going on with these guys outside the venue. You may or may not know this watching from home, but many of these guys are housed together, and it's not all dudes on the same team. So there's a high chance that you're staying or rooming with somebody who's on another team. I know there's camera folks that are embedded in these houses. I can't wait to see that kind of footage, try to figure out exactly what the dynamics are that are going on outside of the house or outside of the venue. That's a big part of being here at the PGF. The other thing is I would like to see what some of these owners are doing, especially ex-Marshall. We kind of thought like their team wasn't going to be that strong, and actually their team has been very, very strong, and it's been very cohesive. It seems like they're operating together as a unit, and I think, and I'd like to see this, it looks like Elijah Carlton is actually the glue that's holding that together. So I can't wait to see the outside film, see exactly how these things are shaking out outside of the venue today for PGF Season 6.
Jake.
Tim, you're just one hot take after another, man.
Sorry,
It's
buddy.
great. No, it's great. Here's the thing. We are very privileged to be backstage, working behind the scenes in sort of a way, working with the pre-show, post-show, getting some insider information here and there. But what we have been reporting to you guys sometimes is what we hear about. For example, Max Hansen, Daniel Sadler, some of the drama going down there. But some of the talented people going behind the scenes and filming this documentary are actually capturing these moments on film. So when we see this documentary, we're going to be able to see the visible fruition of those things that were only hearsay to us here today.
All right, let's go straight into our next topic, which is this. You know, we were talking a little bit under the aspect of who could be a spoiler when we were talking a little bit about tactics and tension. But if you really think about it, maybe you statistically don't have a shot into the big dance. That doesn't mean you don't have power. So what I'd like to do right now is have both of our gents come up with an idea of who could play a spoiler role. And maybe there's not just one, maybe there's a couple. I'd like to start with you, Jake.
Here's my perspective. If you look at the top 8, the 2 people who are tied for the very last spot for the final Grand Prix is Nathan Haddad and Kevin Buring. I believe they're actually going to share the mat today at some point. They could spoil each other's journey to that top 8. It could come down to a match between those 2, depending on how it shakes up today. And so I think that those 2 are key players that we have to be watching out for, because both of them, they've looked great throughout it, but I'm definitely interested to see how they go about their matchup and also how they match up with other people.
Tim.
So if you look at the team scores, Epic Roll and Black Rifle have 36 points combined. Okay, the number 2 team above them is First Form, and they're in at 53. So they have more than the combined total of the bottom 2. Yeah. Okay, those bottom 2 teams have to play X Marshall today. X Marshall's about 15 points ahead in the team score. I'm looking for Epic Roll or Black Rifle to come out and make a statement. Sometimes when you're watching sports, your team's not in it, but they're playing a team that is in it. And there's nothing sweeter as a fan when the Giants beat the Dodgers while the Dodgers are on their way to try to get into the playoffs.
There's better things.
There is not, Raph.
As a Los Angeles fan, I just want to point this out. There are better things. Specifically the Dodgers, yes. But any other team, yes, sure. You know what we need next, though? We need to actually create, and when I say we, it's probably me that's creating this graphic, but I love the In the Hunt. The In the Hunt is the graphic that we need to create, I think, going in for Season 7. So I make a vow to you. I may put that on the docket. That may sound like a weak vow, but it's like about what I got right now. So
can you seal that with a ring, please?
No, I don't. Some a little commitment issues right now, so I don't know. I really want to get into that. All right. While we have a chance, let's get into our gallery, which we're keeping our eyes on what you guys are saying online. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at a few of the things that people have been chirping off in the comment section. Let's go our first comment, please. I believe this one is yours, Jake.
Samson's head slippery af. Ha ha.
That's not cool, man. That is not cool.
I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint at what point this comment was put out there, but Samson Fum about this was said about you, sir.
Fair enough. Let's go to our second one.
This is mine. This
is your department, I believe, sir. Please.
I'm taking this one. Josh Colbert. This would never work in the streets. You're probably right, Josh Colbert. I gotta say, you're probably right. There's some of it that would work, but some of it that wouldn't.
Hold on. Can we just get to the bottom of this? Do you watch basketball and go, this would never work in the streets? Oh, this 40-yard dash would never work in the streets. Get out of here with that. Josh, I understand what you want to bring up. Just find somewhere else to go. What's the next one?
Dang.
This is yours, Jake.
Chael P. Sutton. He's as sweet as a German chocolate cake. I have never thought that. As a Chael Sutton fan, I love Uncle Chael. Never once did I think or even allude to him as resembling a pastry.
Fair enough. Tim?
Oh, sorry. Where's my next one?
Let's go to the next one. My apologies.
We got Alfredo Moscoso. I heard Jamie Carnell. Jamie Carnell is a homeless guy they picked up from California, and he only wants to get paid with Dino Chicken Nuggets. Listen, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I was about to hold on. First thing, how dare you, Alfredo? Number 2, maybe not untrue. I think we're going to get our W9s filled out, and he may be like, no, we don't need all that. Just bring that little truck full of Dino Nuggets, and we're good to go. And let's go to our final one right now. I want the feedback. I'm trying to make something that we can all enjoy. And I don't know everything, so keep the feedback coming. We grow from it. And this is BMAC himself going into the Reddit. And what I want to say is this. If you are in the comment section, it must feel good to know that our leader, our fearless leader, one Brandon McCatherine, is trying to give you a better product. So if you have constructive criticism, throw it our way. I'm telling you, we will do our best to improve. We hear you about the audio cable. We know we've done 40 different things to fix it, and I believe today we may have a fix for you. But just know this, constructive criticism, yay. We need a pit, boo. Don't come to me with that either. But we are definitely looking out, and we appreciate the passion. So thanks so much for giving us all those great moments. We're about to turn it on over to the main broadcast team. But I got to tell you guys, I'm super stoked for today. So we're so glad you're here. Do not go anywhere. And after this concludes, that means all 30 matches, stay with us. Come right back here for the PGF Pro Show, where we will have interviews with some of the athletes. And as you can tell, anything can happen in that post show. On behalf of Tim Freeman, Jake Watson, myself, Rafa Sparza, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.